I was 17 years old. A buddy of mine invited me to travel from Vancouver, British Columbia to Calgary, Alberta, about 650 miles to go to a party where I would be able to hopefully buy alcohol. I had never done that before. We drove 650 miles to Calgary, across the Rocky Mountains. The deal was between him and I, whoever was the least capable of driving would not have to drive. And so I won that bet. They carried me, put me in the back seat, and he started driving. But he pulled over when he got to the actual mountains, and he fell asleep just because he needed some rest. Woke up, and around 6:30 in the morning, I took over driving. And I'm driving through the mountains, the Rocky Mountains, the Continental Divide, and I'm getting a little tired, so I take my seat and I recline it. And I put my heel flat to the floor of the gas pedal, and I was driving like that. My vision was the top of the steering wheel and the dashboard, that little space in between. And I was driving like that through the mountains. He was sound asleep, and in no time, I was too. I woke up when I had crossed the oncoming lane and hit the gravel on the other side of the highway. And when I hit the gravel, it woke me up. But by then, I was airbound, sailing over the edge of a mountain. And I'm looking at the treetops as I'm going over them, and I'm thinking, this is the first time I've ever flown. And then we hit that first boulder, and the car flipped end over end over end over end, all the way down the mountain. We did not have our seatbelts on. We got to the bottom. He had a cut on his eye, and he had a cut on his chin. He was bleeding a bit, but he was okay. I did not have a scratch, a bruise, a cut, an injury of any kind. None. And then we go to the hospital, get him treated, and we're taking a Greyhound bus back to British Columbia. I ended up sitting beside a very old man. He was probably 65. I told him my story, and he said to me, God must have a plan for your life. And two things happened simultaneously. Number one, I had a visceral reaction like, oh no, a religious nut. And number two is, what if God had a plan? Can you imagine a better job interview than getting interviewed by God? And so and he has a job for me to do. So I took it like an employment. And so I pondered that, and that hooked me. I got home, I started seeing a Christian girl, and every night we talked till 2 in the morning even, and all she would do was talk about Jesus and talk about how good he was. But my buddy that flew over the cliff with me, he was not a Christian. He didn't believe it. So one night I'm talking to him. I'm at my parents' home where I lived, and he said, listen, if you want to know the truth, don't listen to her. She believes all that crap. Don't listen to me, he said, because I don't believe any of it. If you want to know the truth, go in your bedroom, close the door, get on your knees, confess your sins to God, ask Jesus Christ to come into your heart, you'll find out. Meaning, you'll find out there's nothing to it. And he walked out the door, and I thought, that's great advice. And he turned around. As he got out the door, he turned around, he put his finger in my face. He said, above all, be sincere. So I went down the hall, went in my bedroom, closed the door, got on my knees, confess your sins. Oh man, he didn't explain what that is. I went through everything you think of, and I would just say, I apologize. And then I said, please forgive my sins, and Jesus, please come in my heart. And then I remember what he said, above all, be sincere. And in that moment, on my knees, I looked up to heaven, and I said words to the effect, God, I'm so sorry for living my life for me. I don't know who you are, and I don't know what you do, but whatever it is, would you please do that for me now? And at that moment, it felt like a 45-gallon drum of water just opened up and poured over me. Tears were streaming down my face, but I was filled with joy. And I was like, how can I be crying and exhilaratingly happy at the same time? I don't understand. I leapt up from the floor. I started to fill the tub. It was taking too long, so I filled the bathroom sink. And then I stuck my head in it, and it's pouring water just over and over and over. And essentially, I baptized myself without ever knowing such a thing. And I just washed myself in the water, and I said, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you just did, but what is this? What just happened to me?